drummers don't get is about, one is heads.
Right.
One is selecting the right head for the drums. Okay.
For most music, you know, I prefer Remo heads. I'm a Remo guy. I always have been. You know, that's it. Metal and rock music and R&B and things like that. 2-ply, clear emperors. You know, really do the job. You know, in the studio, live, everything. It's you know, you get a lot of the, you get all that nice, you know, attack. You know, and really nice warm tone on top of it too. And with the coated heads, it's even more. A lot of guys like the clears. You know, I prefer either one. I can go back. I go back and forth. You know, I like the sound of the coated emperors. Exactly. Clear master on bottom, clear or coated, you know, emperors on top. I like. There's also, you know, pinstripes that come along with it. They actually sound pretty decent now. And some drum kits, you know, actually sound better with certain kinds of heads. You know, I think certain things like Yamaha's, you know, Birch Absolute drums in the shorter, you know, 8x12 and 8x10 sizes really react well with coated ambassadors for more jazzy things. The best combo for me is, you know, the 2-ply on top and then the clear ambassador on the bottom. And you can go like what Simon Phillips does too. You know, clear ambassador top and bottom, which is awesome. I love that sound.
And also know what this model is on this brand and compared to the other brand. There's a Guitar Center that has all all the heads in the world. No,
right.
I mean, you know, sometimes you need to know which one it is.
Absolutely. Well, you know, the difference between the Evans and the Remo, the Evans G1 is the equivalent to the Remo Ambassador. So if you want G1 clears on the bottom and then like a G2, which is the 2-ply head, which is the equivalent to the Remo Emperor. Yeah, so you can do coated G2s, clear G2s, and you're getting the same basic combination, you know, that way with between Remo and Evans. They do a few other things. They do a thing called an EC2. They also do an EC1. The EC2 is what we use mostly. It's a 2-ply head. It's kind of sort of like a pinstripe in a sense that there's a stripe running with a ring in between the 2 plies, which is supposed to help, you know, cut down overtones. And it works great. It's a really nice sounding head.
And that's by Evans, right?
Yeah, that's by Evans. And then equivalent from Remo from that would be a pinstripe. You know, and then they have things like their power center reverse dot heads, you know, which are basically the equivalent of a CS black dot or a CS white dot, you know, head, which is a single ply ambassador weight head coated with a dot in the center, underneath on the other side. And they do those, and they do so they do a few other things that Remo doesn't do, which are pretty cool. I tried.
Now, the second thing that was very important to me, that a lot of drummers unfortunately do not experiment enough, and that has to deal with again with the availability of instruments of things, is cymbals. Cymbals are so hard to actually get the right thing. And basically, the biggest problem I heard over there is the hi-hat being too bright and too loud. You know? And then you cannot take it out, you know, leaking on everything.
Right.
Okay. And the other one is the poor selection on the cymbals, because I like to have different colors. I wanted to have different colors. It's not that I'm going for the size.
Right.
I just, you know, whatever size you have, that is going to give me the color and also the difference between a little dark and a little bright.
Right.
Because one thing, you know, a darker sound, I can make it brighter in mix. But a bright cymbal, okay, all right, okay, it's gonna be hard to make it dull because you already, you know, like lick on everything, you know, and the other thing is that it's the stereo image on the drums is being given to me by the cymbals,
right?
You know, because you have your kick snare, okay, and that's what you're doing, and then when you give me those cymbals, those colors, that's when I'm starting to hear how wide it is,
right?
How wide it is, okay.
Well, so it depends on the genre of music, of course. You know, I think if you're doing an R&B gig, a lot of the R&B drummers, they won't look on their kit to see anything bigger than a 20-inch crash, and they'll probably be just one of those, and it's probably some kind of an ozone, you know, with the holes in the cymbal. We use a lot of those, you know, like 18s and sometimes a 20, and 16s, and then the crashes they use mostly seem to be more like in the 17s, 18-inch range, and on the thinner side. You know, a lot of things like from Sabian, for example, Sabian Legacies, Sabian Evo Evolution series, which are a little darker, but just get that really fast, get in and get out kind of thing.
Okay.
And it's perfect for that music. And hi-hats there that aren't washy or clangy at all. You know, they're just nice and speak really, really clear. Usually somewhere between a 20 and a 21, 22-inch ride, you know, on the medium side, medium thin side. And that's it. Now, you wouldn't want to use those cymbals for me, like on a hard rock gig. If you're playing with Kiss, you don't want to use little cymbals and, you know, things like that, and a bunch of ozones. You know, for me, that's where I bring out my Peisty, you know, 24-inch ride and my 20 and 22-inch crashes and my big stuff, because I think that works best for that. I'm a huge Peisty cymbal fan.
Okay.
And I love Sabian. These Istanbuls are great.
Yeah.
God, so many nice things coming out now. But I think for a metal band, a really fast, you know, speed metal band, you don't want to have a bunch of big 22-inch crashes. You don't want to have a big 24-inch ride that might wash a little bit too much. You know, you're going to go maybe even a little bit more to the extreme of the R&B guys. So you might get that. You know, might be the biggest crash is an 18. It'll be more like an 18-inch thin.
Yeah.
You know, and you get a couple of those, and you know, some really, you know, some really bright hi-hats. Not too bright. You know, a lot of splashy cymbals and things like that too. But not big, washy, you know, crashes. So I think you're right. Drummers need to spend time, you know, going someplace where there's a lot of cymbals.
You don't need to have all your cymbals the same brand.
Right.
Also.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. I started looking. Okay. Okay. I really like this one. Me, I when I first heard these Istanbuls, for example,
yeah,
I just fell in love with the Istanbuls, because they have different models, and they have the ones that are darker.
Right.
And me in particular, I like dark cymbals, because to me cymbals are there are a couple of cymbals, okay, like this small splash, you know, the little ones, okay, that are like just little colors right there.
Yeah.
Great. Then there are the cymbals that are, you know, the bright thing that you just go and accentuates, you know, like something in particular.
Right.
But to me, overall, what I like on the drums is the heaviness.
Right.
The heaviness of hitting a cymbal, and the cymbal is not interrupting your attention to the singer or to the guitar lick.
Right.
But actually, it's just making it so deep that you can enjoy more those elements.
Right. Exactly.
You know, so that's why, you know, I like darker kind of sound on the cymbals. And if I need, I make it bright. You know.
Yeah. Absolutely.